Grade 3, welcome to another Art Online. Before I start, I would like to share a Bible verse with you. He is not here, for he has risen, just as he said. Matthew chapter 28, verse 6a. Now, every time we think about our holiday that's coming up after the end of this week, we think about Jesus' death. Now, what is so important about Jesus' death? Well, first, he was the perfect lamb. Second, he died for you and for me. Thirdly, he not only died, but he overcame death because he raised on the third day so that we may have hope. So as you have your holiday and take time out from school, I pray that you will have hope. And I pray that you think about why you have hope. Let's take a look at what some of our friends did last week. First, I have a Joshua's picture here. Now, I really enjoy the way he added the blue background and how the red comes across with the blue background. It really brings out those triangles. As well, because he used the blue, it seems like he had created some triangles, the blue triangles. I wonder if that's on purpose or if that was a happy accident. Here we have Bridget's creation. Now what I really liked about Bridget's is that it's all white, which is plain, so we can see the line and the design very clearly because there are no other distraction. And what I really liked about Bridges is that I can see that she took the time to really press down her folds. Because as you layer those hat fold and the kite fold into each other, they tend to pop up unless you really press them down. So thank you for taking the time to do that, Bridget. Here we have Isaac's. Now Isaac's, this design is very beautiful. It is bright. I hope you glued it down and I hope that your artwork is being displayed somewhere in your house. It would really brighten someone's life as they walk into your house and see that bright, colorful design. I especially like the negative space that the background created. There's sort of like a what shape would you call the red part? I know you guys are doing math, so let's see if you know what that is. You should show this to your homeroom teacher and see if you can figure out what all those shapes are called. Next, we have Zachary's. Now, what I really enjoy about Zachary's design is I can see that he's trying to create a different type of design through the radio design. He is reaching and he's being bold with his design. Because if you look, it's not exactly symmetrical. It's more like a fan. If you look, it's like there's a hook with the green triangle. But there's a little bit that's off the bottom left corner. That green seems a little bit out of place. So one of them is not quite right. But it doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means that you have to adjust for the design to work a little bit better. But I like the way you tried different things with this project. Great job. Next, we have Sophia. I put this in because I like the cat. Plus, as well, I really like the dots. Now, I'm not sure if that was part of the paper or if you added those dots on the paper, but it really adds to the design, especially when there's solid color as well as the dotted line. It just makes a big difference. Next, we have Abigail's. Now, we have seen this design over and over again, right? The kite folds in the inside, and then the hat fold is all stacked on inside of each other. But what I wanted to point out with this particular artwork is that the color really made a difference. She went from red, orange, and yellow. So remember, red and yellow makes orange, and orange is in the middle. So imagine if this is put in a bigger scale and you step back to look at the design, it will look like a transition from red to yellow. Next, we have Easter eggs. Well, during Easter, we usually eat chocolate Easter eggs. So that is what you will be doing, but not with chocolate. You will be, you are learning to decorate Easter eggs with the wax resist method. And you are looking for colorful design with different technique. You will be using 3 different types of technique as you decorate your eggs. We're not talking about chocolate eggs, we're talking about real eggs. The first method you can use is the rubber band method. Next, you can use the wax crayon method. And thirdly, you can use a tape method. So there's 3 ways you can do it. Now with this lesson, and since we have a holiday coming up, I really recommend you do this lesson together as a family. I will be sending out a list of material you will need and also the instruction, step-by-step instruction, because it's quite a long process because of the lack of materials that you have. So we have to make our own color dye. If you have any question, feel free to email me and have a great holiday. Hello, boys and girls. So for this activity, you are going to need a little bit of help from maybe an adult. So to gather your materials, you would need a marker. It doesn't matter if it's dry, a clear bowl, some water, and a pair of scissors. We are going to be making watercolor using your water markers. Now this is the part where you need an adult to help. So at the with every marker there's an end. The end opens up. This is, you might need an adult to help you. Pop the little lid at the back out. Or cut it off, whatever it is. Then you're gonna turn this over. And then you will see inside there is a little plastic tube. And this plastic tube has a lot of color inside. And the color is held together or held inside some cotton. So what you would need to do, we're going to extract the color from inside here. So you need a pair of scissors. Make sure you work on a surface area that is covered with newspaper because it can get really messy. If you look at my hand, yesterday as I tried it out, my fingers got very, very messy. What you need to do is you are going to have to somehow get the cotton out of the tube. So what you can do is you're going to cut it in thirds. That means 3 parts. Do it on top of your bowl, so that if any color comes out, you can catch it and not waste it. You can see that the foam is coming out. Now I'm doing it this way so that your hand won't be as messy. Oh, see the color coming out. Take that out. And what you're going to do is you are going to poke it out or pull it out. So see here, I am just holding it and I can pull it right out. And here's the plastic casing that we no longer need. I'm going to do that again on the other side and pull. There it is. And here I'm going to do that here as well. I'm just using my scissors to hold on to the cotton. And I'm going to pull. And there. Now this way your hands will not be messy. Next, you're going to put a little bit of water, just a little bit to start off with. You're going to use your marker that is now empty. Use the tip. It is quite magical when we do this. You're just going to poke it. When you poke it, you will see the color, the water that you put in is all red in this case because I used a red marker. Okay, I'm going to swirl it around until the color comes off. And then I'm going to do a little bit more. Now you have to add the water a little bit at a time so that you don't dilute it too much. Then you are going to take it out. Now how do you do that without making a big mess? You are actually going to, you can use a fork. I don't know where my fork went. So I'm gonna just take this out. I'm gonna squeeze it on the side. And you see my cotton ball, or all the filling that was inside the plastic tube is still red. So that means I have more color. Whoa, look at that. Can you see the color changing? Okay, so now that it's not as red, I'm going to squeeze it with my hand. And it is quite amazing. Look, it's all white. Now, you know all the color has come out. Then, you are ready to move on to the next step. Now, if you have lots of different colors of markers, you can make a couple of bowls or different colors so that you can dip your eggs in more than once. And this is a great thing to do with your parents. You can make an egg each. So stay tuned for the next part. All right, so now that you have made the color, you will have your eggs. You can have two choices of how to prepare your eggs. One, hard boil it, which is putting it in water and boiling it for 10 minutes. Another option, which you will need an adult to help you, is to empty it. But that is definitely something that needs to be done by an adult. All right, now that you have your eggs, how are we going to decorate it? There are multiple ways of decorating it. We are going to use a vinegar and resist technique. So what does it mean when we do that? When we do that means we're going to place something on the egg, and then we're going to put it in our colors, and then the color will go into the part where there are no resists. Resist would be, it can be wax crayon, it can be tape, it can also be elastic band. So I'm going to do that on the eggs to show you. All right, so where the wax will be, then the white will stay. Next, I'm going to try the next method, which is an elastic band method. So you are going to wrap your egg with elastic band. Now, it is a very tricky thing to do. And the reason is because the egg is round. And if you have an empty egg like I do, you kind of think, oh, is it going to pop? It might not. It's easier if you use two elastic bands so they can grip onto each other. Like this. All right, so this is my second one. Thirdly, you are going to do you can do some tape resist. You can cut out different shape for your design. Or you can combine the two as well. So I think I'm going to make this go all the way around like this. Now when you're doing it, you have to really press the tape down. Otherwise, if the vinegar or the acid from the vinegar gets in onto the shells, then it's going to eat at the shells. There. All right, are you ready for the exciting part of the craft? So now, that here, remember your bowl of color? You are going to put a tablespoon of vinegar into your color.
it is still not quite enough to cover the egg, is it? So what we are going to do is we are going to put the egg in first. I'm going to put this one in. It will fit. My egg is floating is because I have, my egg is empty. And then, if you look, it's already, the color's already changing. But we want the acid to burn into the egg. So we're gonna have to hold it down and fill it the water. There you go. So you have to sit with your eggs for about 20 minutes. So I have my one egg here. I have some other color. When you have finished, let the egg sit out and dry like this. Then you can use a paper towel and fill it with a little bit of vegetable oil. Rub it, then your eggs will be shiny. Otherwise, they will be dull and the color could come off. This helps seals the color in the eggs. And here's the one with the elastic band. This is the one I did yesterday, and here's the one with the tape. You see how I didn't push it in all the way, but it created a really beautiful design. And here's the one with the wax resist. You can see that you can see some of the design. So the more you color it, the more the color the more you color with the wax crayon. Like I use a really light color here, and it's beautiful behind the red background. Here, remember I use brown, and it doesn't shine. It does not contrast as much against the red. So give it a try and send me a picture of what you have created. Have a great holiday!